Okay, so let's go ahead and look at two-step equations, the bottom half of the notes. So put your homework to the side. I don't want to see you working on it. You're going to have plenty of time to finish it in about 10 minutes. Because I want to make sure you can get these notes. So even if you're like confident, like I know what I'm doing, I'm going to I do not want you to work on the homework. I want to make sure we do a couple examples so you know how to do it, and then you can finish the homework in about 10 minutes. Okay. Now the bottom of the notes, we are looking at two-step equations. Two-step equations are the same idea, except you have to do things a little differently. Put your computer away, please. Okay, so as I look at two-step equations, what you have to remember first is you start furthest away from the variable. Logan, put the homework away. You have the homework out? Working on that? Okay, you're fine. So, two-step equation, the thing you need to remember is you start furthest away from the variable. So we're still trying to get the variable alone. We're going to get rid of first.
Okay. So the goal is still the same. Get the variable alone. Now you're just going to have to do two things to get the variable alone. So let's look at number 9. Okay. Number 9, as I look at number 9, I have 6x plus 8 equals 50. If I want to get x alone, what two numbers do I need to get rid of?
6x.
6 and the
6 and
8. Okay? Which number is furthest away? The 6 or the 8? The 8. The 8 is furthest away from the 6. How to tell this? If I would plug a number, you'd multiply by 6 and then add 8. So 8 is furthest away. Let's use inverse operation. What is the opposite of adding 8? Subtract 8. Subtract 8. Now, start from the left and write what you have down. 6x, the 8's cancel, 8 minus 8 cancels, equals 50 minus 8, 42. So like I said, I want to see each step. It's going to take you an extra 5 minutes, but as we get to more difficult ones, it's going to help you keep track of them. Okay? Now, I have an equation like we did on the top. 6x equals 42. How do I get rid of the 6? Divide by 6. 6 times x, the opposite is divide. Just a second. 6 is cancel. 42 divided by 6 is 7. So my answer is x equals 7. Like I said, you can always plug it in to check. If I plug in 7, what's 6 times 7? 6 times 7 42. Plus 8 is 50. So that is correct. Okay, let's look at number 13. Or sorry, let's look at 12. There's one on the homework that I've seen a couple of you make mistakes on already. Let's look at 12. If I look at 12, I want to get x alone. If I want to get x alone, what numbers do I need to get rid of? 7 and negative 3. Okay? Which one is furthest away from x? The 7 or the negative 3? 7. Now, here's the mistake I keep seeing, or I saw a few times. This 7 is a positive. So even though you see no sign in front, this is a positive. Ignore the negative. That negative goes with the 3. That is a positive 7. What is the opposite of a positive 7? Minus 7. So be careful. That one's kind of tricky because you don't see a plus out in front of the 7. But if there's nothing there, we assume it's positive. So we subtract 7. Start from the left. 7's cancel. Don't forget the negative with the 3x. That is also a mistake I see a lot. People forget to bring the negative down. Negative 3x equals 34 minus 7? 27. Yep. Now, just like we talked about above, this is a negative 3. What is the opposite? This is not subtracting 3. This is multiplying by negative 3. Do what? Divide by negative 3. Good. Make sure you take the negative with it. Negative 3 divide by negative 3. Negative 3 over negative 3 is just 1. So you have 1x. What is 27 divided by negative 3? Negative 9. X is alone, so this is solved. Always plug it back in. Negative 3 times negative 9, positive 27. 7 plus 27, 34. Good. Okay, let's look at a couple more. Let's look at 14. Okay. If I look at 14, guys, stay with me, please. We're going to do a couple more. If I look at 14, what two numbers do I need to get rid of first? Negative 5 and the 8. Which one is furthest away from x? The 8. This is a positive 8, so how do I move it over? Subtract 8. Subtract 8. Okay? Start from the left, just like you're reading a book. 11 minus 8? 3 equals x divided by negative 5. The 8 minus 8 cancel. Okay, just a second. Let me explain it. The opposite, I need to get rid of the negative 5. But if I look at it, I am dividing by negative 5. What is the opposite of dividing by negative 5? Multiply by negative 5. If it's helpful to put negative 5 over 1, so you see the negative 5 cancels, I don't care. But I multiply both sides by negative 5. Just a second. Negative 5 times 3? Negative 15. Negative 5 on the top and a negative 5 on the bottom cancel, so I'm just left with x. This is solved for x because x is alone. Even though it's on the right side, it doesn't matter as long as x is alone.
So
Plug it.
if I put
Yeah.
X on the left side,
I don't care. Yes. Yep. What property tells me that it doesn't matter which way I put? X equals negative 15 is the same as negative 15 equals x. I know you're like, stop, why are you making me remember this stuff? What property? X equals negative 15 is the same as negative 15 equals x. Which property is that? What property says reflexive? I reflect. I can see the same thing, so it doesn't matter the side. I switch it. Okay? So, actually, is that right? No, it's, yeah, that's right. Sorry, I'm having, yeah, that's right, reflexive. Okay,
it's one day.
it is. Okay, let's look at 15. Okay, what two numbers do I need to get rid of to get x alone?
Which one?
15.
3 over 5.
3/5 and 22. Which one is furthest away?
22.
22. How do I get rid? Let's have some other people answer. Trey, how do I get rid of the 22? Subtract 22. This is an equation, so I do it same thing to both sides. Minus 22. Okay, what will my equation look like, John, when I subtract 22? Six. Good. 22 minus 22 cancel. 28 minus 22 is 6. Good. Now it looks like one we did on the first section. Okay, how do I get rid of the 3/5? Xavier? Couple options. Yep, you can multiply by the reciprocal, 5 over 3, or I could do what? Divide by 3/5. Either way is fine. So if I multiply by the reciprocal, the left side, 3's cancel, 5's cancel, I'm left with x, which was my goal. And what is 6 times 3/5? Let's see. Ian, what is 6 times 3/5? Or sorry, not 6. 6 times 5/3. What is 6 times 5/3? 6 times 5/3. Do it 10. Yep, 10. Good. X is 10. So even though you have fraction, use your calculator. Okay? Let's do one more and then we'll be done. 16. Okay, as I look at 16, I'm going to have you talk me through it. Preston, what do I do first?
Minus 1.
Minus 1. The 1 is furthest away. The opposite of adding 1 is subtracting 1. Okay, Zach, what will my equation look like when I subtract 1? Okay. Perfect. 1's cancel. Negative 7 minus 1, negative 8. Awesome. I need to get rid of the negative 1/3. Isaac, how do I get rid of the negative 1/3? Couple options.
Divided by the 8.
No, I want to get x alone, so I divide by...
8.
No, I want to get x alone. So how do I get rid of the negative 1/3? Divide by negative 1/3. Yep. So divide by negative 1/3. You could also have multiplied. What's the reciprocal of negative 1/3? Negative 3. You could also multiply by negative 3. Okay, if I divide by negative 1/3, plug it in your calculator. Colton, what do you get when you divide negative 8 by negative 1/3? Negative 8 divided by negative will be a what? Positive 24. Yep, just check your sign. Positive 24. Okay? Any questions on this? Do we feel okay? Okay, so keep these notes with your other notes for this section so you can get easy points. The rest of the time is for you to finish this. If you haven't done, just raise your hand and I'll get it. I'll check it. Just raise your hand, I want to check it. Raise your hand, I want to check it. Go to your seat, raise your hand, I want to check it.